Now to Colorado, where jurors in the murder trial of Aurora Theater shooter James Holmes are getting inside the head of the man who stormed into that crowded theater showing the Batman movie The Dark Knight Rises and killed 12 people, injured 70 others. Prosecutors now presenting a crucial piece of evidence here, this man's notebook. Here it is. 29 pages of elaborate planning and diagrams of infinity symbols and pages covered with the word why. Each juror actually given their own copy, while an Aurora investigator read aloud almost every word. Here it was.
Venue - airport or movie theater. Then it says airport with an X, substantial security. Too much of a terrorist history. Terrorism isn't the message. The message is there is no message. The movie theater - Cinemark 16. And there's 3 hyphens underneath. First, isolated. Second, proximal. Third, large. Bullet: what better place to case than that of an inconspicuous entertainment facility? ?
We bring in criminal and civil trial attorney Eric Guster and defense attorney Bob Schalk. So, gentlemen, welcome. And I want to just begin with part of what we heard, and it's incredible, again, because you have cameras in the courtroom. You're watching all this play out in this case. And let me just reiterate what was read aloud as part of this notebook. And again, you heard that he had thought about an airport, right, for this mass murder, decided on a theater, wrote, terrorism isn't the message is there is no message. So, Bob, to you, how does the defense take all of these ramblings in this notebook and use them for the jury?
Well, it's going to cut both ways, but they definitely have a lot to work with. I mean, the caption when you open the notebook is "Inside the minds of a madman." He starts talking about what is the meaning of life with stick figures, and then he puts death and puts dead stick figures. He starts self-diagnosing schizophrenia and why he believes he's schizophrenic. So if he has a history that predates, and we know that he does, predates the shooting, the defense is going to have a better chance of using the not responsible or insanity plea as opposed to just using the book and trying to create it on the spot and use it for purposes of the trial only.
But then you have the fact that he scouted out, right, the measures he took, scouted out these 3 different theaters. He wrote that he had a 99% chance of being caught. So how would this notion of thinking ahead, premeditation, affect an insanity defense?
The premeditation, that is what hurts him the most, because with any type of insanity defense, we have to show as defense lawyers that he did not appreciate his actions. He did not appreciate the criminality of his actions. For example, if someone goes into a grocery store and starts shooting and just waits there for the police without any type of remorse or without any type of knowledge of exactly what's going on, that could be more criminally insane. However, with this case, this man planned it out. He wrote out ways to carry out this crime. Bombs. He talked about biological warfare. He talked about serial murders. And he went through each method methodically to decide what he wanted to do to wreak havoc on this community.
So does that sound like an insane person to you?
Not criminally insane. There's a difference between crazy and criminally insane. And that's what people don't understand. In my opinion, you have to be crazy to go in the theater and shoot everyone. However, you may not be criminally insane, which means you did not appreciate what you were doing. You did not appreciate the gravity of the offense. So I don't think he's criminally insane, and I don't think this jury would let him off.
Let me jump back to you, but of course one piece of this is this his psychiatrist, right? Because she's going to testify, she's going to play a huge role here because we know that he actually had sent, I remember when we were covering the story and we found out that he actually sent this notebook to her 8 days before opening fire in that movie theater, warning police of his suicidal thoughts. The package with the notebook held $400 worth of burned $20 bills, a sticky note bearing an infinity-like symbol. She's testifying. How does she play in this whole thing?
Well, she's going to start laying the groundwork for any potential treatment or any diagnosis or any issues that he had that predated the shooting to try to establish, listen, something was happening prior to the date of the murders.
Okay.
That he had some sort of mental psychosis, he had some sort of diagnosis. But again, as Eric pointed out, the most difficult thing that they're going to have to overcome is he didn't appreciate what he was doing was wrong, and he didn't appreciate his actions. The fact that he wore tactical gear, parked his car in a specific place
outside the exit. Doesn't that say thinking ahead to you?
Correct. So the cross-examination of that doctor here is going to be very fruitful for points that the prosecution is going to be able to make. Granted, you're saying he had these issues. They predated everything. But let's look at it like this. He wore this gear. He had a getaway. He booby-trapped his apartment.
Yeah,
this was planned out. So they're going to be able to cross-examine her where she's going to have to agree with them to very important points that
Bob,
disproves.
you have a very good point as far as what happened before this. You know, criminal insanity, it is typically a very long process. Right. It doesn't just start on April 1st. It is a very long process. If they can show that he had some type of mental diagnosis long before this, not his self-diagnosis, oh, why am I schizophrenic,
Put something
like he
on
was
record.
writing in his notebook. Yeah, it's kind of like a setup, in my opinion. It appears like he's trying to set up his criminal defense with this notebook. I'm going to write these things out, and when I get caught, you know, they're going to show that this is going to show that I'm insane.
He's an educated guy. He's a doctoral student.
Right.
This isn't some guy who flunked out of high school who was sitting in his mom's basement thinking of these things to do.
Exactly.
Who went and shot up all of these people.
Yes.
Bob Schalk, Eric Guster, thank you both very much. We'll follow this trial very closely as we have been out of Colorado. Meantime.